there, everybody. How are you doing? It says that I'm alive. I think you're alive. It's Thursday, so good to see you. Wow, just a busy morning. I have been hitting it since about 5 a.m. So yeah, it's like, gee, it seems like it's like the day is already past and another day. So favor everybody. We got it all over us. I mean, you can't do anything about it. You can get rejected, but why would you do that? As we say, nothing missing, nothing broken be in our lives. Regardless of what we see, we're not moved by what we see. We're not moved by what we feel. We are moved by what we know. So there you go. The sun never sets. Well, John, I appreciate that. It's like I said yesterday, do spirits that feed off of the energy that we get naturally from the sun? I mean, if it impacts physical life, why wouldn't it impact on the ethereal? I think sometimes we just become so earthly minded. But anyway, Bosto, happy birthday if you got one, and we be prospering. Hey, Bill Bennett, what's up? Good to see you, Deborah Sloan. Bonnie, hello. Good to see you. Project Skyfall. Lori, good to see you as well. I think I saw, who else did I see in there? S. Lee is in there. James is in there. Hey, glad to have you off the hook. Just like I said, it's been a busy day. Right up front, won't be back on till next Wednesday. Got things I have to do, and so we will be apart from each other. It'll go by just like that. But anyway, I'll have plenty of adventure stories to tell you when I get back. Hey, Chloe, what's up? Timothy, good to see you as well. Nothing missing, nothing broken. I say that first thing in the morning. And it really doesn't matter if something goes what I would consider to be contrary to my desires and my words. But I have found in life that usually it's fulfilling exactly what it said it was going to do. If you got favor, even if things seem to be going south on something, in the long run, it actually turns out to your favor. So anyway, what else is happening? Divine Empress, how are you? Good day to you. Stephen, hello. Andrew, Truth Seeker, how are you, my dear? Good to see you. Linda, what else is happening? Truth Seeker, yes, Chloe, she is an amazing, beautiful being. So I tell you, it's just a really interesting days. What was it that the poet said? May you live in interesting times. Oh, I think we got that. I think we got 5 of a kind going on that, because it's definitely interesting. And when I see, and I'm sure it's no different with yourself, the goings on taking place in our world, the reality they try to persuade us that this is what's real. It's amazing how many people will actually buy that. But it's insane. And it got me to thinking, if, as he puts his crystals away, that I tell you, I think that we are in fact controlled. Maybe it's just me, but I find that Homo sapiens, us, we may not have the capacity to actually govern ourselves. What say you? Because I'll show you the evidence of the world, and the world's evidence would say we don't have a clue. We don't know how to govern. We don't know how to raise our children. We know very little of our environment. We become so inflated in pride that we think we know everything, because remember, unless man thinks about and basically says, well, this is what we say, then it doesn't matter. Even a God could come and say, mankind, humans, you're messing up, man. You guys, you don't have the capacity to govern yourselves. You don't even know yourselves. Well, we would reject it. No, we're sovereign. We're sentient. Yet the evidence says we don't know how to govern ourselves. We don't know how to control ourselves. And as a species, we're one of the most violent species out there. Why, you have other human beings that will deliberately put another human being where death is the only result and then laugh about it. Walk away as though it didn't mean a thing. We have politicians who are nothing more than deceivers in disguise. They think that power is the ultimate goal. And even when they get perceived power, what do? They abuse it, as most humans do. And it makes one think, well, I don't know if we have the capacity to actually govern ourselves. Hey, Mary Wins, good to see you, dear. So what says you? Hey, Project Skyfall, what's up? We can't mind our own business or take ownership. Isn't that the fact? I've never seen a group of humans, adults, who are supposedly wise adults, make the most asinine statements and decisions as though they have no common sense. They have no ability of actual free thought, because what they try to do is impose tyranny. So you got to ask yourself, so when a human suddenly gets into a position of political power, why do they always become corrupt? Why is it they line their own pockets, and to hell with their oath and what they do for the rest of humanity? Show me one politician, show me one world ruler that gives a shit about humanity. You can't. They only care about themselves. And it's why our society is falling apart. It's why it's dangerous to go into most American cities. They're war zones now. And then you look at our politicians, these people who are supposedly governing us. Why do they don't know how to govern. They don't even know how to govern themselves. But yet we will stand by here and proclaim that we're intelligent, we're sentient, we're ascending, we're becoming more enlightened. And yet the world becomes darker and darker. So who's the goddamn liar here? You? Me? Them? Who's lying? Because somebody's lying. Because it sure the hell ain't getting any better out there. It's getting worse. It seems like the planet is hell bent for humanity to enslave ourselves and then self-annihilate ourselves. It seems that's where we're going. And again, why would a sentient, intelligent, enlightened species do that to themselves? And we do it over and over and over again. So either there are no controllers because we're completely inept, we're an insane species, we can't even, honesty. We don't like to be honest, do we? No. It's like we want everybody else to be honest, but hey, we're exempt. Yeah. Folks, it concerns me because it's not getting any better. There is a storm that we're already in it, but we're just in the prelims. The main show, the big show that's about to be unfolded upon us is going to wipe out a great deal of our kind. Oh, it's been planned. They've set this thing up. They orchestrate. They play humanity like a fine-tuned Steinway. Perfectly. They know exactly which note to hit to get which reaction. And we do it over and over and over again. They say that the average IQ of a 20-year-old is, get this, over 40% less than that individual 3 generations ago? What's happened to humanity? Why is it that we're graduating students, high school students who cannot read, write, they do not know math, they have no ability, they have nothing to redeem to society other than to consume and to take. And yet we're supposed to sit back as we continue to see the education system disintegrate right here. And it's not just in America. It seems to be a worldwide phenomenon. Why is it we have wars? Why is it that humanity cannot seem to get its act together? But we want to shoot everybody. We want to drop bombs on babies and mothers. We want to make formula short for babies so that they starve to death. Yeah, I mean, this is a hell of a reality. Oh, we all like to come together and, blow sunshine up our skirts and say, well, aren't we glad we're not them? But damn it if we aren't them. Yes. And it continues on. So what is this? Are we truly controlled? Is this really nothing more than a simulation, a matrix? Do we live by the illusion that we have free will? We have the ability of free choice? I don't know. I don't think so. Peter says, what do I do with what I know? And there is the other thing. So we gain all this freaking gnosis. And we learn to, as novices, begin to just manipulate, work with the elementals, work with the spirits, begin to become alchemists in our own ways, magicians, witches, wizards, I don't know, angels, daemons. Yet we have this knowledge, but what does it do? I think about the occult. I think about working magic. I mean, we live in a magical reality. It's just the way it is. And it's odd, isn't it? How many of us, we pursue knowledge? We do everything we can to gain wisdom. And yes, there is a direct benefit to the individual, and maybe to a degree around a small enclave. But rarely do the voices of peace, harmony, love ever get announced. They're drowned out by a voice that's one of control, manipulation. And I wonder, so what does all this knowledge do for us? In times past, when I believe many of us came together, they burned us at the stake. Then they cut our heads off. They tormented our families. They tormented us. But we continue to come back, ever striving to bring this knowledge that may offer a different path. The path we're on right now is not the right path. For humanity and our species, we know it. But there's so many voices out there that it's very difficult to find one that really knows what one is talking about. I think individually, there are so many gods and goddesses amongst us here. And maybe our frustration is that, I don't know, maybe our game plan's not good enough. I don't know why there isn't a worldwide gathering, a counter to the UN. We just put out the UN, it's useless. And what we put in its place is witches, wizards. We even asked a few of the angels to materialize. We form a true council of humanity, not this fake one. The UN is nothing more than a part of what kills humans. That's what the UN does. It kills people. And then it steals from them. And then it tells them that this and that. And at the same time, it's never done a damn thing. Made the people at the top rich. You know, it's like, screw you. I got mine. The hell with the rest of you. But I don't know. Because I think also that so many in the occult are very arrogant. They seem to have an ego that, wow, you wonder how they even measure up to themselves. I'm just throwing it out there because we're going to read about controllers. And it's very obvious. And I'm almost convinced that they don't need to hide. We wouldn't see them anyway. I mean, they could freaking manifest into the firmament and we'd ignore it. Virtually most humans don't look up at the sky. You know, you do a lot of sky photography, you know, the vast majority of people never look up. And when they do, they go, oh, damn, there's a spaceship. It's like, well, where'd that come from? What's that, Maria? I agree with that. Not all occultists are doing light work, henceforth our world now. Isn't that odd? So is this what the war is? Because there's a war going on. I don't know how many want to acknowledge it. I don't know how many of us really want to get involved with it. Hey, Shannon. Yes, dear, there is. She says, I came here and heard you talking about the occult peeps' egos. Made me think of gatekeeping. Lots of that in this community. Yeah. I mean, we exchanged one religion for another and just made ourselves priest and priestess. Again, towering above the commoners. How arrogant. We're all priest. We're all priestess. But no, you can't be a part of our club unless you make this oath. You know, you got to swear allegiance to our God. Well, fuck your God. I say fuck all the gods. They haven't done a goddamn thing. I look around and I see the religions of the world, and all I see them is spewing hate. And then hate is what we get on the other side. Hell, hate is what we get from the occult now. Well, you want to do the left-hand path. You want to harm people. You want to curse, cast, and hexes. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm wound up today because it's crazy. We're an insane species. Spiritual battle. Yeah, isn't it? James, it says it comes down to some of us can't share equally and care for others' wellness. It's so true. So many ways we grow up as adults and we're still stingy children. Like, you ain't going to get mine. Well, I'll shoot you if you try to get mine. You know, it's like, geez. I don't have the answer. I read, I mean, I look at it and I say, well, can't we just live and let live? Can't we just, you know, acknowledge that the fact that the path that we're on is the wrong one, that the people that are in political power all need to be moved out? We need to really rethink about what we put as a representative of us. And I can tell you what I see in Washington, it doesn't represent my view. It doesn't represent a lot of our views. The spiritual battle, we are still being told what was that, Scotty boy? To be still and do nothing. Yeah. Maybe we're focusing in on the wrong plane. You know, we built our egregore gift. We've shown conclusively that we can come together and not even be in the same area and yet connect. That's powerful. I wonder if maybe it's for us to put on the big boy britches, and go into the spiritual battle. Maybe that's what we should be doing. Spending an hour going into the spiritual realm and waging a battle, because it looks like humanity's getting its ass kicked. And I don't like it. I don't like it when people die needlessly. I don't like it when the world has enough resources, but yet we're in this poverty minded where everything is in short supply. It doesn't make any sense. Why would sane people do that? Why? So getting back to the controllers, how sad is it to think that we even sense that there are controllers? I was 50 years in Christianity, was thankful the day I left that religion, renounced it. But I got to tell you what, when you study the Christian God, you realize that it's as flawed as we are. We have supposedly the words of this supposedly perfect person that didn't do a goddamn thing. It divided us more. I don't know. I'm just speaking the truth here, folks. I mean, and I can speak about the religion. 50 years of my life, I paid to that religion, paid millions of dollars into that religion. I never saw it do one thing. Never. Every church I went into had adultery, had people stealing, had people that were gossipers, backbiting. I mean, they'll hug you and say, "Oh, brother, we love you. Thank you for coming," and then stab you right in the back at the same time, all in the name of Jesus. Well, didn't work. 50 years I saw that religion. Didn't work. All the promises, all the so-called spiritual guidance, nothing. Didn't change the world. We're more mixed up, more upside down. Oh, we got this death wish. The one thing I will say about humans is that they're a death cult. All humans worship death. They love death. That's what humanity is death. We inflict it upon everyone that we can. We inflict death upon the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom. Hell, we'll inflict death on God itself if it showed up. I don't know. Maybe we are truly quarantined, isolated from the rest of life of the universe, because somehow or another we are messed up. Again, we're a brutal race. I have said this time and time again. In fact, when I used to preach a lot, I would say, you know why Jesus Christ will never return? Because we'll kill him. If we killed him the first time, we'll kill him the second time. Isn't that what we've done with all these so-called ascended masters? We curse them. We change their words. Then we want to sell their words. You give me 10% of what you make, and I'm going to give you God's word. And that word will change your life because God promised it. But you've got to give me 10% of what you make before those promises become real. Yeah, this is probably not what everyone was tuning in, but it's the truth. So is the controller all about money? Is that the controller? I don't know. I am a bit upset. I don't like to see, and you should be upset. And the fact that you may not be upset is kind of upsetting. It's death out there. People are dying. needlessly. Do you know a teenager was killed here because of a piece of electronics? Yeah. Something that probably didn't cost more than $100. Yeah, we sit here thinking that, well, sucks to be them, but I've got my ascension to do. I'm sorry. I mean, yikes. It's just sad, folks. It's just sad. And we really have got to do something better. We got to. The path that we're on is a path of death and destruction. And the thing about it is, I've said this repeatedly, and I will continue to say this. Show me the message of love out there. Show me the message of peace and reconciliation. I don't see any of it. I don't see it promoted. I don't see it embraced. I certainly don't see it being repeated. Why? Would we are we so focused in that we want this event to happen? Like we're all just anticipating and just wanting it to get over with because we don't want to really do the work and maybe actually change the course of humanity. If there is a collective consciousness, it would seem like that if enough of us could only get it together long enough to stop judging one another, stop ridiculing one another, stop self-deprecating one another. Why can't we do that? Why can't all the other channels on YouTube come together? No, because they're all about self-promoting. Well, it's about, how many subscribers you got and how many likes you got. And, he might have something more that but maybe, why? Where's the unity on YouTube? There are thousands, tens of thousands of channels of enlightened individuals in the Gnostic and in the occult community. Why is it that we can't get our act together? Why isn't that we can't form a collective? Well, because I follow this person. Well, no, I follow that person. Well, it's no different than a religion. And I left the religion. I don't want to get into another one. That's why I got out of the Nibiru thing. It was another damn religion. And the thing about the people in the Nibiru community is that the vast majority of them are Christians and they want this death. They want it. That's why I left it. It was a death cult. Well, because we want to see this thing come in and, it's going to, it's like, really? That's what it's all about. Yeah. Yeah, Shannon, it's true. It is. I mean, we that are supposedly enlightened, working in ascension, why is it that we can't get our act together? Well, he might make $1 more than me. Really? That's what this is what this is about, huh? I don't monetize this channel. I did for a while now. It was the worst money that ever came in. Don't need to. I respect y'all more for that. I mean, some people do it. I understand it's as a living, but the problem is that when you start doing it for a living, it no longer becomes a passion. Okay. Well, Steiger, have you got enough to say already? Yeah, I believe that we can come together. I mean, I think the Gnostic community, if we could just put down the egos, put down the pride, put down the rest of us and say, I'm not really sure about a lot of things, but you seem to have a little bit of the puzzle. I think I may have a piece that may match that. And if we can get over onto this channel, because you see, the problem I'm seeing is that, well, a channel, when it reaches, 500,000 subscribers, well, it doesn't want to deal with the riffraff anymore. Really? But isn't that where you started out at? So what makes you so much different? Mark Smith says, I'm creating my own world. I don't watch the news. Yeah, that's good. I'm done with religion and politics. That's good. I'm looking at my higher self and the galactic family rather than to be alone with the low vibrating human going 3D. I like that. All right. So I think we can do this. There's enough people on YouTube that if we formed our own community, like an all-inclusive community, and set the intent and the focus on just changing the path of humanity, focusing in on every world leader and bombarding them to the point to where whatever the hell they're serving, we kick its ass. Every other parasite, every demigod, every angel, every daemon who has violated humanity, that has ever drawn blood by another human in their name, we get rid of them. We hold trial, and then we clean court. Because the way we're going right now, I mean, everyone believes this is Armageddon. Why, this is the apocalypse. Don't you know we're heading for billions and billions of people to die? Well, screw that. I'd rather give every one of those billions the opportunity to live their life force energy and maybe have the opportunity to change that. But it seems like the controllers are pretty well entrenched. So, hey, Gilbert, how you doing, my friend? I think it's an answer. And I hope the other channels will begin to get the same idea and promote it. It's not about a channel. It's not about the individual. This is about us as a family. There's only one group of human beings that I know of. I mean, if there's other humans and other planets, well, they're not these type of human beings. We're earthlings. That's why they call us that. We're earthlings. This is our home. This is what we do. We've been here a long time. I just think it's why we can't get it together. Why is it that humanity has never lived in peace? Have you ever thought about that? The United States has always been at war. Europe has always been at war. Every nation I see has been in some kind of conflict, whether it be internal or external. Why is that? I don't know. Home for now. That's right, Queen of Swords. It is home for now. I have the feeling like someone has got their hand on the top. It's like, and you see me doing this, it's like, would you get off of it? Ouch. I love y'all, folks. I mean, seriously, sometimes you just got to do. Someone wrote me, and I'm behind on the emails. I'm probably going to be real behind because, I'm going to be gone for 5 days. But she said, tell me more about this primal screaming therapy. And so I directed her to, there's plenty of content. Just look at it. But I got to tell you, get out in the middle of nowhere. It's really, I'm going to be doing that this weekend because I'll be in the middle of nowhere. And yeah. Hey, Gaza, how you doing? Good to see you, Courtney. Hello, my dear. So, because I believe we can turn this ship around. I'll leave this plane saying that we can do anything we desire to do. If we get our act together as a group, as a species, we can kick ass. We can tear down the structures that have been dominating us. At least I know from the time of Samaria, probably longer than that, but at least that's what I have documented. And it's the same thing. And I'm going, okay, are we just that stupid? I mean, it's like my wife when she asked me if she looked fat in the dress. And I said, do I look stupid? And I got to say about humanity, I think we are stupid. Remember, ignorance is a self-inflicted disease easily cured by knowledge. R. Wayne Steiger. Gaza, good to see you, brother. We laugh, but we have to have a positive attitude because there's plenty of negative. And maybe this small group, as we join other groups, the problem is that, there's so many different points of view. See, some people don't buy into, well, that thought forms actually exist. Okay, that's cool. And then you hear about others that, well, we don't really practice that magic stuff. Yeah, you do. You speak it all the time. You speak spells. Someone said, well, that's different. No, it's not. It's the same thing. I actually had someone tell me that on the phone. Well, you don't understand that when I pray, that's not the same thing. I said, really? Well, I would think it would be more important of all things if you're praying to something up there. Yeah. Shannon, at least I have a little poquito of wisdom on that one. It is so true. Oh, all right. So abracadabra. Exactly. So be it. Repetition is the key to gathering. Courtney, you ought to write that out. I like that. Repetition is the key to gathering. Actually, repetition is the key to manifesting as well. I mean, that's why we get it. You speak, don't you? That's right, Janie, you do, isn't it? So let's talk about these damn controllers. Next week, by the way, we're going to get into some of these tools. And if you're a blacksmith out there, please get in touch with me. Have a project in mind. So again, if you're a bladesmith, a forger, write me. Have a project and I'll pay for it. But I have something I want made. All right. So, and we're going to get into these tools. Everybody has rites and altars. We'll get into the rites of concentration. This is a great book. In fact, Lucky, I saw he does have a website, our unique Petrosili. I love that name. So as I am getting down here, I had this thing completely bookmarked, ready to go. And what happens? I mess up. Hello there, George. How you doing? Isn't that a hell of a creature? Okay. I want to get into the controllers. This is such a great book. There's so much on this that each one of us, and those of you that have bought the book and have gotten it, as well. All right, Steiger, where is... So y'all just talk amongst yourself as I try to read the map here, because apparently I don't know where it is. Well, isn't it odd? Everyone, as you can see, I'm looking in here, it's kind of just going, all right. Let's see. I think it may be here. We'll see. I think. As we completely pull to the side of the road and say, this is not where I was wanting to go. How odd. Strangest feeling of deja vu all over me. Okay. Boy, I always like coming prepared on this one. It's like, all right. I knew I was in the right spot. The controllers. You see, we just didn't go a block far enough. All right. So let's read what Enoch has to say about the controllers. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions and theories. He says another enemy that you must be aware of are what he calls the controllers. These are interdimensional beings that are able to work outside of time or use time travel to keep humans enslaved. If you just break down this one sentence right here, I mean, unless we have the corresponding knowledge of how these beings are able to travel outside of time, and that's a weird concept for us to get outside of time, and they use time travel. And they're cheating. I mean, if they can go back in time, it means they can completely rearrange the deck. This is deception. I mean, and if this is how the game is played, and a hell of a game is it, then we need to get smarter and figure out how to take the game back. He says they live in a dimension of non-time. Well, you got a strategic advantage right there. From this vantage point, they often insert control programs into the timeline in order to keep the average person in a state of control and drone mentality. They have done this successfully for a long time, if you will, but that time, if I may, is coming to an end. I just have one question, sir. How do you outsmart an individual that has the technology, the knowledge, that's all it is. They have the knowledge to where they can go back in time and rearrange it, and you and I would never be aware of it. That's a paradox. He says, I'm giving you knowledge that I wish I had many years ago. I would make a little progress and get knocked down again and again because I could not see these beings behind the veil setting traps for me. I knew within myself that I could not give up. I stayed consistent in my battle against these beings without knowing they existed. No easy task, I guess not. I mean, isn't that like shadow boxing? My point is that you now have the information that I suffered and struggled to gain for many years. Well, I like that. He said, use it wisely. All right. He says, these beings are the ones usually responsible for so-called alien abduction cases. But really, they're not aliens in the sense of the word being used. They are aliens to this plane, yes, but not from other planets necessarily. Their appearance is like that of a typical gray alien, except taller. They have very large heads and black eyes. Seems to be a repeating theme here. No matter where you go on this track, this description seems to be universal. Usually they have a high collar that extends halfway up the length of their large heads, but not always. That's weird. Of course, I told you what the spirit told me when I said, well, you look pretty weird to me. And they said, we ought to see how you look to us. He says, later in this book, during the soul retrieval rites, you may find that these beings are responsible for fragmenting your soul. I don't know about you, but that just flat pisses me off. Who the freak do you think you are fragmenting my soul? Well, I'm going to kick your ass is what I'm going to do. I'll find you. They abduct parts of our souls while we asleep. Sons of bitches. This is why so many people experience alien abduction dreams that are very lucid, like they actually are occurring. It's because they are actually occurring. And your soul, but it's your soul or your subtle body. You see, if they can physically abduct us, then I would think they may have the ability to take the soul as well, if the soul is, in fact, a separate entity of energy. A fragment of it is taken and used to create emotions of despair and terror, which they feed on. This is why soul retrieval is needed for humanity now more than ever. Got to get this guy on. We're going to get him on. Typical appearance of a controller. More of us have seen these than what you may be able to remember. Keep in mind, however, that there are other tribes of this type of being that are friendly. For example, my soul guide, Mike, looks quite similar, but is not the same as these controllers. He is of a different tribe and is not here to harm humans. Okay, so let's extrapolate this out. What I hear Petricelli talking is that it's quite obvious there is division and strife, that it exists outside this realm. It apparently exists outside of time. Now, if that's true, then we're dealing with something here that may be the very thread of the fabric of all reality. Well, I don't know how you would extract it. He said you should be able to tell if they're harmful or not based on how you feel in their presence. Listen to your gut. Well, most people in the world today would walk right into it. They don't know what they feel. They will do everything they can to confuse you and throw you off course. They want your fears and self-doubts to take over and ruin your spiritual progress. Some people are able to easily tune these beings out and ignore them. This is a good way of protecting your mind from their influence. I personally have to take a more active approach for whatever reason, my sensitivity or awareness of them perhaps. The reptilians, we have read numerous things on the reptilians, but see what he has to say. We might learn something. The reptilians are much more astral entities as they are physical ones. Well, I happen to agree with this. Getting back to my time in Christianity, if you read the book of Revelation in the throne room of the Yaldabaoth, you will find that these beasts, the four beasts, these four high-ranking, they're even above the archangels, are reptilian. At least one of them is. Let's see. They seem to be in alliance with the controllers and some secret government organizations. They have a humanoid shape like the controllers, but normal-sized heads, although some have larger heads. Their skin is covered in yellow, green, and black scales like a serpent or lizard. They are also interdimensional entities who are outside of the earth-time spaces. You will likely have to battle them along with the controllers with the rights that are provided in the latter chapters in order to claim more spiritual freedoms and growth. Well, I happen to believe that rights work. I've seen it firsthand. Yeah, don't shout me down. There are a few, these beings are usually hostile towards humans, but this is not an absolute. Well, seems like if the vast majority don't like our ass, finding the ones that don't could be a little risky. These beings are usually hostile towards humans. Okay, there are a few reptilian groups that may not be enemies of humans, but for the most part can safely assume that they are an enemy if you run into one of them during this work. Okay, tells me we better get our chi together, right? Our Tai Chi. They look at humans as cattle. The whole hour, that's what I've been saying. Like we are their food. They will often interfere when you are trying to gain a higher vibration through meditation or ritual, such as the ones found in this and other books about spiritual empowerment. If you encounter one, be very leery. Do not be fooled by its lies or its deceptions. Get it out of your space immediately, because it's going to kick your ass. Again, How does he brush his teeth? Have you ever thought that? Do they floss? Do they have a problem with cavities, gingivitis? I mean, with those teeth, it would seem like, bacteria maybe, but then again, maybe they're just sterile. I don't know. Because if you're going to use floss, you're going to go through a lot of it, it would look like. I digress. We continue. We continue on. I mean, that's what I think about, it's like, do you floss after every meal? How do you brush? What do you brush with? Personal hygiene is very important. Dental hygiene is exceptionally important. Yeah. The word embodiment is misleading to describe what this chapter is actually. Okay, we'll get into this other because we'll get into this later. Why? Because it's fun. Shapeshifters, I'm seeing that. Yeah. Nunu says probably serious bad breath. I don't know, but I have never encountered because I have. Yeah, I don't know either. Because dental hygiene is important for me. I mean, I saw a program where they actually exhumed one of what they think was a Knight Templar, and they knew that the individual that had been buried there for a very long time was apparently rich. And the reason why they knew they were rich is that because they still had their teeth. Yeah. And the teeth look good because they were able to get the proper nutrition. Isn't that odd? Susie Smith has been a rough few months. Lost I am so sad to hear that. 47 years in March. Then my 46-year-old son. Oh, Susie. Oh, man. Yeah. There's a lot of departures. Well, my words, I can only speak peace to you. And you're amongst friends here. And if you need energy, pull from it because we got lots to give you. And you're not alone, Susie. There are many other women in the soul tribe that have lost their love of their life, their mates. So you're not alone. We can identify with that pain and we respect it. But we're here to put a smile on your face at the same time, dear. Mary, it's called The Book of the Soul Retrieval. Buy it. I like making Petrochili prosperous. And that's what this tribe does. We buy their books and I get it on. If you can't afford it, I don't think you'd have a problem with it. It's on PDF. Be more than happy to share it with you. Yeah, and I've read the rituals. And so if you're a blacksmith, bladesmith, please contact me. I have a project that I would like to pay for. So Susie, thank you. Your energy, it adds to this tribe. So we send out love to you and just give you a big old hug, hun. And we'll all make that crossing, and it's only temporary, always is, but it doesn't lessen the void. Yeah. Whew. All right. Going to make me cry. It's sad. And, it's part of the experience here. Sadness, grief. Those are genuine emotions. And they're expressive of what we are. And, it's just like the animal kingdom grieves as well. I have no doubt the plant kingdom does as well. So, all right. There we go. Sending out lots of love. All right, folks. Janie says, Robert Edward Grant might have a connection for you. Well, I'll tell you, Robert Edward Grant, if you do, email me. Email is down below, steigerrwayne@gmail.com, because I need a bladesmith. I have a project. Want to have my own a theme blade made. We allow all of us to be who we are, when we are, who we are, and that's true, Courtney. That's what it is. It's love. Lost in space. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Do elephants cry? They do. They also bury their dead. It's quite amazing. Elephants are very, very intelligent creatures. I'll share with you very quickly. So back in the day when I was a drywall finisher, and we're talking many days back, tens of thousands of days, well, a good amount of time. Anyway, did this project. The company I was working for, Guarantee Electric at the time, we got the St. Louis Zoo. There was a lot of remodeling going. So I would get there very early and got to know a lot of the zookeepers and the other trainers, and got to know the trainers that for the elephants and giraffes. And do you know that elephants, if the ones, and they're very gentle, I mean, they can be brutal at the same time, but anyway, they love being scratched right here in their eye, and they're just, I had the opportunity to do that, and their skin, it's just their intelligence. You look in their eyes, you know that there is a sentient being in there. You just know it. Anyway, I digress. All right. So y'all have yourselves a great time. Again, I won't be back until Wednesday. So, much love to all of you. Being away for 5 days is going to be different, but just continue to love yourself and love those around you. I will miss you and look forward when we meet again. So much love, Soul Tribe. Wear it proud, wear it brightly. That's what I say. Twilight Sun, Shaman of Lilith. Blessings to you. I like that. Lilith is loved here. Yeah, we know that. All right, folks, this has been fun. Thank you all for your energy. Appreciate every one of you. And we'll see you Wednesday, maybe a day early. Who knows? We'll see. All right, until then, much love. Twilight Sun, look at my Liber Lilith series. And if you don't have the Liber Lilith, email me and I will send it to you. It is a phenomenal book, one of the oldest books out there, in fact. John Dee had a copy. The Apostle Paul had a copy. Can you imagine that? All right, everyone. See y'all soon. All right. Much love.